So today we are going to talk about enduro weapons, mainly 300XC KTM and XCW and Varg EX, and we're going to answer the question if this Varg, the Varg EX, is it ready to be in level with the 300XC or not. What we're going to do, we are going to talking about beginners, which bike is more suitable for beginners. We only talk about these two bikes. We're not going to hit any other bike besides these two. We are going to talking about to those who knows their way around the bikes, like who riding single trails for like 4 or 5 years. We are going to talking about hard enduro. That's when the topic is going to get really, really interesting. And then we're also going to hit racing. I would like to introduce myself before we get into the topic. My name is Robert URMOSI, and there is a reason why I'm doing it now and not before. We are going to develop a product together. We already developed a number of products. We're making enduro-specific wheels. Nobody else has wheels like these. We are making the 720 SBC. We actually worked with Cody Webb. We made a brake pedal for him. URMOSI thumb throttle for ATVs. So what we're gonna do, you and me gonna go behind the computer. We're gonna design the product. We're gonna make a prototype. We're gonna test the prototype, and we're gonna put it in reality, which is make it available on the website. So whoever wanna buy it, they can, and you can follow me along all of this process step by step. I'm gonna walk you through it. So let's start with the beginners. This bike, the Varg EX, doesn't have a clutch, doesn't have a gear. You just push the button and you go. On the other hand, the 300XC, you have to know a lot. You have to mixing the fuel, you have to change oil, you have to do a lot of maintenance, you have to deal with clutch, you have to deal with gearing. It's much more complex. We, as the older generation, we would say that's fun because the maintaining the bike over the weekend or whenever you have a time, that's kind of fun. It's part of the joy what the bike brings. But for older generation, it's more of a hassle because they just wanna push the button, enjoy it in a certain amount of time, and they just wanna go on with their project. And for that reason, the Varg is much more suitable. So much so. The Varg is really built for the next generation because you really want to have that phone working for you. There is a bunch of options what you can access through the phone. The Varg really actually wants you to use the phone. They want you to buy parts through the phone. They want you to have a monthly subscription, which is good for them to build a strong company base because the KTM has a huge advantage when it comes to Varg. In my opinion, when KTM starts for making good bikes, that's 2009, since they're rolling out with reasonably good bikes, and that's a lot of advantage as far as the years of development. So Varg can have a really strong financial base by getting this $20 subscription, and hopefully they're using, which is seems like they're using the money to develop these bikes and make them better, which is gives you a better end result. I think the system, what they try to do, it works very well for them because there is a lot of things needs to be done on this bike to be better. We're gonna hit that in a minute because it's just lacking some stuff compared to that. But when it comes to beginners, I don't want to get too deep into it because it's pretty obvious, you know, and especially the future generation, it's geared more towards to the electric because sure run, you know, that's what they see. And for them, these bikes are kind of old school and they just don't want to really mess with it unless if their father makes them to. But those youngsters are passionate about these bikes. If you belong to an older generation and you're still a beginner, I think this bike is still more suitable for you because you're not doing advanced riding. For intermediate riders, they can decide if they want to deal with 234 pounds or 264 pounds, 30 pounds difference. But when it comes to wear you out, the additional of it wears you out, it's kind of even out a little bit, because on the KTM you have to change gears, you have to play with clutch. On the other hand, you have the EX when you don't have to do any of that. So I found this, the EX, it doesn't take much effort to use it. If you don't want to do lug jump, if you don't want to go hard enduro stuff, you feel like you want to be staying in that nice trail, what you really like, you don't really want to take it to the next level, you just want to ride with your friends, I think the Stark, it's still more suitable for you, because the options what it offers, it just makes it so easy for you to conquer that trail, and people gonna look up for you because you're gonna have the new EX, and they're gonna say, wow, man, this bike is really awesome. That's my experience. A lot of people come to me and say, say hello, ask me about the EX. So if you like that kind of stuff, the Starkworks delivers that for you. When it comes to hard enduro, that's when things get a little bit interesting. The 300XC has a 16 years advantage against the EX, which is massive, and they had time, and they actually spent time on it to develop and make it bulletproof. When it comes to hard enduro, you're throwing the bike around a lot, and that means you could break stuff, which is eventually, just part of the nature. You will. I broke my map switch. That's just the weirdest thing ever, what I broke. And, it just happens. When it comes to Stark, the gear cover is just so thin, it could break easily. The KTM clutch cover are so durable compared to that, and it's surrounded with other stuff, and it will be protected. What's more, you normally know what's going to break on the KTM, and you buy a protector for avoiding that kind of problems. On the Stark, there is no protection really for this bike yet. You're dealing with 3D printed foot pegs, and you don't know how is that gonna handle the hard enduro situation, because it's not cast, or it's not made out of titanium, what we normally use, so it's totally new, so you just don't know what's gonna happen with it. There's a lot of thing on this bike which can break easily. It's a very well designed bike, but it's a princess. It's not designed for hard enduro. It's designed for what the princess does, and that's not getting dirty. There is two important things I would like to say regarding to hard enduro. One of them is the clutch. When you want to put the front whatever you wanted to with the clutch, you can do that. When you want to lift up the front, you can do that. When you do pivot turn, you can do that easily. You can lift up the front very easily on the Stark with the 45 horsepower. There is no problem to lift up the front. But what I found, the bike want to go away. So it's not the same feeling when you lift up the front with the clutch than when you lift up the front with this bike, because I lift up the front and I want to turn, do a pivot turn, but the Stark, it just want to go away, like wheeling. So it's kind of difficult to make it work without the clutch. There is two major downsides Starkwork has. One of them is the 30 pound additional weight, and the other one is the lack of a clutch. So far as decision making on the hard enduro part, I'm going to turn my head to the left, because this bike is bulletproof. Technically, you can put it into any kind of race. It's very competitive. It will handles very good. If you do a long desert type of riding, it just at the range, it's a key, and then you can have it on this bike. You can have a tag on it, just like you can have on the Stark. Only thing is kind of lacking a little bit when you do Pro G and CC racing. That's the only time when this bike is not shining as much as the 4-stroke does. But when it comes to hard enduro, my opinion and yours should be this bike is on top of the food chain when it comes to it. But again, that doesn't mean the Stark EX is bad in any way. It just KTM had 16 years advantage compared to this bike. Anyway, enough talking. I hope you enjoyed the content. It was really fun to making it. Catch you on the next one.